the AFC East, the top pick for each team, and the Dolphins get their man, the quarterback Tua TAGOVAILOA, at number 5, Mort, overall.
Well, yeah, listen, Tua is a guy who, we know the health issue. Will he start the season? I don't think he will. Hey, listen, Patrick Mahomes only played one game at the end of the season when he was with the Chiefs, so there's no problem there. But you go to Alabama, you have number one on the offense side going against number 1 on defense. You're playing pro-type players every day in practice, and you hear things during practice that just happen with Tua that are magical. So at some point during the year, I expect to hear some things about Tua, but Ryan Fitzpatrick is the guy. Dan?
Yeah, the Jets took MEKHI BECTON out of Louisville, the massive left tackle. And Sam Darnold's got to be ecstatic because now I'm going to hopefully be kept clean. And hearing people talk that know the offensive line play really well, they actually think he's got the best chance to be the long-term best tackle in this draft class.
One other Jets note, they did pick up the 5th-year option of Jamal Adams, but as for the Miami Dolphins, with their second first-round pick, they took Austin Jackson, the offensive tackle from USC. They'll plug him in. Remember, they traded Laramie Tunsil. This helps fill that hole. There are some people that think the Dolphins wanted to take Andrew Thomas at the 5th pick. Guess we'll never know. Would have been interesting.
Noah EGBINOGHENE, cornerback from Auburn, is now the 3rd corner, so there's no pressure to be the guy. They're solid at corner, but a 3rd corner like EGBINOGHENE, former receiver. Gus Malzahn raved about his competitiveness. He's also, if you have a kickoff opportunity, this kid is one heck of a kickoff returner. Noah EGBINOGHENE is, Adam.
And Mel, the Patriots' first pick in the 2nd round was Kyle Duggar. Everybody thought, well, that's a very Patriot-like pick. I think they would have liked him in the 1st round, knew they could wait, which is why they traded back with the Chargers to number 37, where they got Duggar at that point in time. Been versatile, made plays. He'll fit right into the Bill Belichick defense up there. A lot of versatility, a lot of playmaking ability, and New England feels very fortunate to get him at the 37 spot.
How about the Buffalo Bills? They went Ed Oliver last year, and they go to the defensive line again with A.J. Epinesa from Iowa, 5-star recruit coming in, productive player coming off the edge. Only ran 5.11, but plays a lot quicker than that. You can kick him inside as well to give that inside pressure on 3rd down. A.J. Epinesa was productive. He came on. I thought he dominated Austin Jackson, went in the 1st round to the Miami Dolphins in that game, Iowa and USC. So, again, Brandon Beane, you talk about a good job again when you talk about adding players to this football team via the draft.
All right, Mel, before we talk about how we may see the AFC East play out in the short term, give me your AFC East draft grades.
I'm going to go to Buffalo Bills. I think that, to help out Josh Allen, do what they did on the offensive side and the defensive side. We talked about A.J. Epinesa, but Zach Moss, they got Devin Singletary last year, I believe, in round 3, had a great rookie year. Now you go to Zach Moss, and I think late Isaiah Hodgins, wide receiver out of Oregon State, watch him as well. For the Miami Dolphins, know about all the players at the top, but Robert Hunt, guard tackle from Louisiana Lafayette, along with Jackson and Solomon Kinley, will be really foundations on that offensive line. And for the Jets, beyond MEKHI BECTON, getting a player like Denzel Mims in the 2nd round needs a little work transitioning from Baylor to the NFL, but he can play. And Ashton Davis, the corner safety, I believe he maybe could be a corner safety out of Cal, will help them on special teams. And then the New England Patriots, I think if you're looking for a player to watch for them down the line, one of the tight ends, Dalton Keene, Virginia Tech, or Devin Asiasi, both coming in with a lot of expectations. Obviously, one of those two or both have to be major contributors to that offense if Jared Stidham happens to be the quarterback.
All right, let's stay right there. Adam Schefter, no more Tom Brady, no more Rob Gronkowski. Listen, is this it? Finally, is the Patriots' run of 11 straight AFC East titles finally in jeopardy?
We'll have to see them lose it before we will proclaim them dead, Wendy. I think at this point in time, it's fair to say that the AFC East might be more wide open than it's been in the years previous. But again, as long as Bill Belichick is the head coach, as long as they have some of the talent they do, as long as this organization is run the way it is, I'm not going to write them off and say it's over. Now, again, I'm not going to say that they're the favorites. They're going to walk away with the AFC East as they've done so many times over the past couple of decades. I think the division's more wide open than in any recent year, and I will give you that at this point in time.
I will say that someone is the favorites in the division. I think it's the Buffalo Bills. You know, if you look at the team that really stressed New England in the regular season the most last year, you can make a case it was the Bills. Played them in 2 close football games. Obviously, the addition of Stephon Diggs, and then they add Epinesa, and then they add Zach Moss, and then potentially a Gabe Davis can impact that passing game as well. And I'm looking at a growth in Josh Allen. You listen, the Patriots, they've got bigger holes or bigger question marks than just the quarterback. I know we all talk about Tom Brady, but what are they going going to do at that position? They still lack in skill positions outside for the quarterback to throw to. Couple starters are gone from that defense, and so Buffalo definitely has jumped up ahead of New England as the favorites. And I actually think the New York Jets had an outstanding draft. I think the greatest thing that the Jets front office and Joe Douglas displayed this past weekend was discipline, because they're sitting there at that 11th pick, and it's so enticing, I'm sure, to take one of those receivers. And that's kind of been a tradition of teams that, you know, miss early on. And you've got this young quarterback, Sam Darnold. Let's protect him. And the discipline to do that with those receivers sitting there had to be so encouraging for the Jets fan base. And then in addition of like a guy like Jabari Zuniga. You know, like Jabari Zuniga led the SEC at one point in sacks last year before an ankle kind of derailed his season. So now I think the Bills jumped up and the Jets had a great draft in that division.
Couldn't agree anymore, Dan. Hey, listen, the Patriots, I still feel like they're going to have double-digit wins, but is that 10 wins? And by the way, Rob Gronkowski wasn't there last year, but Tom Brady was. But listen, with their defense, with their special teams, with their coaching staff, they will find a way to be in contention. But the Bills continue to build. Brandon Beane, the GM, and Sean McDermott, their great coach. You know, and I think Josh Allen has now become maybe the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. He's just a football-playing Jesse, and they've added so many other pieces. And the Jets, I do think, are going to make a dramatic turn upward with Sam Darnold playing and the additions that Joe Douglas, their GM, has made.
I tell you what, Mort, I agree with you on Josh Allen, but Schefter, to your point, I think we have to see it until we believe it with New England.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.